All right, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I thought it'd be good to make a follow-up video regarding the 1DX. And as you can tell from the title, we're talking about the best cinematic settings for your 1DX Mark II. So if you guys didn't get an opportunity to actually check out that video earlier this week, go ahead and stop this video now and go and check out that video and kind of get an understanding about why we're talking about the 1DX Mark II and why I still think that this camera is a beast of a camera to still be using in 2022. But if you did catch that video and kind of figuring out or would like to know what type of settings you should be using when trying to get the most cinematic look out of your camera, then this video is for you. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. All right, so right here we have our menu pulled up, and as you all can see that this is a custom menu that I use literally across the board from the 1DX to the EOS R. So if you guys want to set this up as a custom menu yourself, I'll show you all how to do that. So first things first, when it comes to our camera settings is our autofocus. Me personally, when it comes to autofocus, I always have it set to face detection, no matter whether I'm filming a client sitting down doing an interview, a tracking shot, or if I'm just following them, throughout their day, trying to just show an example of what they're doing. It's always set to face detection. So there you have it. The next thing, when it comes to actual format or resolution, I film everything in 4K. So as you can see, it's 4K 23.98 and it's motion JPEG. If you guys want to know a little bit more about the motion JPEG, check out the video from earlier this week. And the next thing is audio recording. So me personally, this may vary depending on the type of mic you use, but then also how loud your subject is and how close you are to your subject. So just play around with this and go back and forth till you get a nice, good, comfortable level. Headphone volume completely on you and what you want to, how sensitive your ears are in the headphones that you're using. Another thing that may be good to talk about is our white balance. So me personally, when it comes to actual client shoots, interviews, or whatever the case may be, me personally, I always set my white balance on the Kelvin scale. Typically it's always around 5,000, depending on how hot or cold it is outside. When it comes to like actual sunlight and where I'm actually shooting, this may drop all the way down to 4,000 or it may go all the way up to 6,000, but I'm always in that range. But I keep it typically set at 5,000 just to be able to easily navigate and switch in between the two. Now the next biggest thing is your picture profile. So when it comes to your picture profile, again, similar to when trying to shoot in log, I try to shoot as neutral as possible and then just make those minor adjustments in post like we talked about in this week's video. So you want to just check out these settings on the neutral. It's literally just the default one. Like there you go. Everything's zeroed out. So yeah. And then again, when it comes to just your shutter speed, want to make sure you're always double what your frame rate is. So again, if we're shooting 4K 24, so we're shooting 4K 24, then our shutter needs to be double, so we'll leave it at 50. Also, when it comes to our ISO, which is right now, I have it at 800. So typically when it comes to shooting video, I leave the EOS R and the 1DX always at ISO 800. I think according to Canon, this is quote unquote the native ISO. So I just leave it there, and then if it's too bright or too dark, I either try to open up the ND filter if I'm outside or inside, and then play around with the actual aperture of the lens if I need more additional light or less light as well. So there's no lens on here right now, but let me grab one just to kind of break down this even further. All right, so we have a lens on here right now. So typically when I'm shooting, my aperture is always at 1.4. Me personally, I literally just like the aesthetic of shooting as wide open as possible to get that blurry background. But in situations where I need to adjust my exposure and I don't want to touch my ISO, if it's too bright outside, then I'll literally just, you know, move the aperture to like 2.5 or 2.8 depending on the situation. And this is literally just my keyboard right here. So yeah, I'll typically do that. But now let's say, for instance, I've made that adjustment and everything is still a little too bright. Then the next thing that I like to do is adjust everything with the ND filter. So if you guys aren't using ND filters, then please go out and buy you some. So personally, I use ND filters on every camera, or every lens that I have. So if you guys know, the 24 and then the 35 that I use, so I have an ND for each of those. But you can always just buy one big ND filter and use step rings to fit all of your lenses. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to my camera settings to get the most cinematic look out of the 1DX. And when it comes to shooting in 120, I simply just apply these same settings, but then just change my frame rate and my shutter speed to match the 120 frame rate. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's literally all to it. And then if you guys want to actually save these settings to your custom camera settings, then you can do that as well to just make it an easier, smoother transition when trying to navigate in between shooting in 4K and then also 120. So how do you do that? You just click menu and you're gonna scroll to your, what's the yellow tab. So up here that looks like a wrench, and it's on the last tab. And we're here have custom shooting mode C1 through C3. So you just click that, register settings, and then click which custom mode you want everything to be saved to. So for me personally, how I do it, C1 is like if I want to just shoot a regular 1080p, and that's for 24 frames 1080p. C2 is 4K 24, and C3 is shooting 120 B-roll. So yeah, so there you have it. Hopefully this video has helped you set up your 1DX to allow you to capture the most cinematic video possible with these new camera settings. If this video was helpful for you in any type of way, please make sure to leave this video a like so that it's able to help others as we continue to grow in this world that we call filmmaking. And if you aren't already, please consider subscribing to the channel with post notifications on, so that when these videos and other vlogs, tutorials, documentary shorts, or whatever the case may be, goes live here on the channel, you'll be the first to know. But until next time, peace.